Hello, Dr. David here. I want to talk to you about this fascinating book, The End of Alzheimer's by Dr. Dale Bredesen. Super smart guy, and he's this is a groundbreaking work. David Perlmutter calls it a monumental work. This has helped shape, to a large extent, my initial understanding of Alzheimer's disease and what we needed to do at the Brain and Body Foundation, where we have access to nothing, no tests, no blood tests, no radiological tests, no genetic testing, no drugs, no nothing. But we we had to learn from the ground up how to effectively and safely treat brain disorders, especially in kids, but then later on in adults. And it helped. So I came to dementia from that background, the background of treating successfully, I must say, a lot of different kinds of brain disorders in children: autism, cerebral palsy, seizure disorders, Down syndrome, and so on, strokes, in sickle cell disease, and so on. So I already had that background. When it came to dementia, however, it was a totally different ball game. We couldn't uh, just apply everything, just cookie cutter approach, the approach we had used with children, and just apply to adults. We found we had to tweak a few things, and some of these I talk about in other videos. But the main point I want to bring out from this book is that they demonstrated in their lab work, in their research work, that once the brain's resources were inadequate to maintain the brain's activities, functions, whether it's repair, synaptic communication between cells, clearance of waste products, and so on. Once the resources were not adequate to maintain the brain's functional needs and functional activities, the brain itself would begin to pull back, stop forming synapses, and basically it would switch into sort of like a dormant phase or conservative phase, and therefore non-essential activities. Remember those words from the pandemic. Some things, some jobs are non-essential. So in the same way, the brain's non-essential activities, things such as long-term planning, control, memory formation, especially if maybe learning a new language, for instance, or um, the ability to control certain impulses, which are all higher center functions, the things that make us most human. Those begin to be pulled back in preference or in favor of more basic needs like breathing, heart rates, blood pressure regulation, digestion, and so on. So those are sacrificed, the higher functions are sacrificed in favor of the more basic functions. And so he was able to demonstrate that in the lab, and that was, to me, was an eye opener. And so I realized that I had to, if we were to help these patients, we had to take a step back from just focusing on repair of damaged brain cells, but we had to take a step back to seeing how to create the environment and the atmosphere in the brain that will allow it to reach out and unfold and blossom and bloom, as opposed to pulling back and conserving its energies. We had to create an atmosphere that provided the resources that the brain needed to expand. And so, like I said, that was really a great part. Obviously, he talks about other things like the other things that poison the brain, things that harm the brain, and he talks about 36 different holes in a roof that you have to plug all those holes. A lot of the problem I had with the book was that, being from a third world country, practicing in a third world country, um, just didn't have access to many of the things he's recommending, whether it's the tests or even the diet and the food. So I had to kind of distill things to some more basic things that uh, I can communicate with my patients and apply. Again, like I said, we're not going to be doing all the PET scans or the SPECT scans or the MRI scans. No one's going to do that. At least most people who don't have access to that. So we had to figure out. A lot of this is valuable information. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we have to take out and see how we can apply them to third world settings. And fantastic book. I could not possibly recommend it more highly. And that's Dr. Dale Bredesen. He's done fantastic work. He still does. He has been able to demonstrate complete reversal of even very severe forms of Parkinson's disease. So he practices what he teaches or what he preaches, and he's got great results. Dale Bredesen, definitely recommend him. So that's it for now. I hope you have a great day and continue to subscribe, like, share this video with others. I'll be doing more reviews as we go along. Comment with a question if you have any. And by the way, if you want to if you wanted to take advantage of our Dementia's Dirty Dozen ebook free for now, just click on the link below and we'll have it delivered.